I mean, it's easy for me to tell someone from my perspective, another like 18-year-old asking me how to find someone. But what about from your perspective as to what you would be looking for?
So basically what you're trying to do is for your viewers who are looking to get a mentor like Kenny McElroy or myself or Kiyosaki, you're trying to give them the insider information as to how to get it done.
Yeah.
Got it. So the first thing that they have to understand that people like me, the older guys, and you know, throw Kenny in there and Kiyosaki or whomever, they actually want to help out young kids. It's not like we're, you know, oh, get away from me, you 18-year-old. It's not like that. It's when we see an 18-year-old with a lot of talent and a lot of ambition, then we want to do everything that we possibly can to help them out. Now that said, you got an open door. That doesn't mean that you can get in that open door, because there's thousands of people that are in that category that are looking for that type of mentorship, especially now with the internet, because it's become so popular. So my advice to someone that was looking to go the same route you did is you got to, number one, you've got to stand out somehow. And you've got to get in front of these people, whether it's going to their event, their live events, and just trying to, you know, ask them a question, just get on their radar somehow, I think is, you know, you came to my birthday party. That's a great way to get on someone's radar, right? Any public event that they have, try to go if you possibly can. I would submit applications to work for the person for free, and then I would actually start working for the person even if they didn't hire me. So as an example, if I was an 18-year-old kid and I had skill set in, let's say, YouTube short, well, what I would do, and let's say I wanted to have Kenny as a mentor because I was into multifamily real estate, I would start taking Kenny's videos. I wouldn't even ask him. I would start taking his videos and I would just start cutting them up into short, and I'd start publishing the shorts, or I would start sending the shorts to Kenny and his assistant. You know, say, hey, look, I took all your videos from the last 2 months and I cut it into the most topical subjects that I think will get the most views. And here's, you know, 50 short videos that I did using your last 2 months videos as raw footage, right? And then Kenny's gonna get that and be like, wow. I mean, talk about taking the bull by the horns. Talk about taking initiative. And this kid didn't even ask me if, you know, he could work for me, nothing. And he just, bam, all of a sudden just gives me a ton of value. Then you, of course, attached to that, Kenny, I'd love to do this for you full time for free. What's Kenny's downside? Zero downside. But then what's your upside if you're just working for free is that you're gonna get to know Kenny McElroy on a personal level. Right? Like when you started working for me, like we didn't really know each other that well. And when you started working for Kenny, Snyder, Kiyosaki, you know, you didn't know them that well, but you're working with them day after day after day after day, you know, because you're helping them with their videos, you're going over thumbnails, titles. In this case, it would be shorts, you know, using that as an example. So the bottom line is you're getting FaceTime with Kenny McElroy. You're getting FaceTime with George Gammon, Robert Kiyosaki, or whomever you want as a mentor. That's how I'd go about it. So number one, you got to realize that we're open to that. We want to help out young people. Number two, you got to stand out somehow. You got to provide value. You've got to hone your skill set in an area that the mentor doesn't have that skill set, right? Like you had opened this niche for what you do and you're making tons of money because you developed a skill that Kenny McElroy or Robert Kiyosaki didn't have, but it's a skill they want, right? Every single rich dude out there wants to create content for whatever reason, whether it's to improve his Instagram, YouTube, podcast, whatever, right? No matter what business they're in. But the problem is that 99.99999% of these rich guys want a YouTube channel and 0% of them are good at it. They all suck. And that's where you came in and filled that void. And as a result, now you're hopping around with Kenny on the private jets and you know, you're living the life. And you deserve it because you're adding a tremendous amount of value. So you have to look at it through that lens. And if you're a young person out there that has, you know, you hone that skill, has a lot of market value with rich guys, and then you just get yourself in front of them, you provide value for free, and then you just try to meet up with them face to face, and sooner or later, something's gonna happen, right? Something's gonna happen for you.
Yeah, what'd you think when I showed up to your birthday party with a tattoo on my leg of your logo?
I mean, initially your mom came up to me and she says, oh, George, you gotta meet my son, he's your biggest fan. I said, okay, you know, a lot of people say that I'm your biggest fan or whatever, and it's very flattering, but I was like, okay. And she's like, no, he's really your biggest fan. So then she had you come over, I think you were wearing shorts probably.
No, I had pants on, I remember.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell you did that, because you pulled up your pant leg all the way or something like that. And then, yeah, I saw the tattoo, and I thought it was really cool. Then I think we were talking at the end of the night, I think, right?
No, not that, well, a little bit that day. And then I went to Rebel Capitalist Live.
Oh, after that?
Yeah.
Oh, no. What was really, okay, so this is a great story, because what was really the kicker on when I had the idea I should get this kid to work for me, it wasn't at my birthday party.
Yeah, it was like 6-7 months after
that. That was just when I met you the first time. Then you emailed me.
Because you gave me your personal email then.
Okay.
And so
then
before that,
emailed
I had
you.
already emailed you. I have probably 100 emails sent to you asking to work for you for free, and that didn't work. And so then it was, all right, George,
Oh.
I'm having a birthday party.
So, okay, but that's a good lesson because I didn't get those emails. I might not have even given you the right email.
Well, no, that
I
wasn't
remember, yeah, there was
wasn't
maybe there was
yours.
a typo in
It
the
was
email.
it was your George Gammon. It was your assistant's email at the time.
Oh yeah.
And so that was way before. And then I went to your birthday party, and then I know what email it is, but I didn't ask to work for you from that email. Then a few months later, you had Rebel Capitalist Live. I went there, and then I was going to be in Arizona, and then I messaged you, hey.
That was the big one. So everyone's following here. Birthday party. Then you emailed my assistant. You had no luck there. And then you went to Rebel Capitalist Live. So then you got more FaceTime. So see, there's all these touch points, right? I mean, that's a good lesson there. So we had 3 or 4 touch points prior to me even saying, hey, maybe I should hire this kid to work for me. He's got a lot of talent. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that first touch point that you're going to get someone to be like, oh yeah, come work for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know you, and my time is worth a lot of money. But once you have 3 or 4 touch points, and then all of a sudden I know you well, then I can say to myself, hey, this kid has some talent, and I need to leverage that. And on top of that, then I can teach them the ropes, and they deserve it because they're ambitious and they have all these things, and obviously they're incredibly proactive. Get in front of me all these times to begin with. So then after Rebel Capital's Live, Josh emails me and he says, hey, I'm going to be in Arizona with my buddy Justin, and we're driving through going to Vegas. Would you mind if we took you out to dinner and we'll pay for it, and just so we can ask you some questions on macro? And usually if someone said that, I'd be like, nah, not really. But because I knew I'd seen him before, and I knew he was only 18 or 19, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, as a kid, he's really trying here. Normally I wouldn't do something like this, but let's do it. Yeah, for sure. And then we went out to dinner, and then you and Justin were asking me very good questions, very high level questions. And I was thoroughly impressed. So then after we got done with dinner, that's when before when we had just met, realized how well you knew macro. I didn't realize your skill set. Mm-hmm. But then once, through those 3 or 4 touch points, then I realized the skill set. Then I was like, okay, I need to get this kid to work for me for the reasons we discussed earlier. And obviously it was just mutually beneficial. So that was the story, the backstory about how you got to where you are today. And then working with me, we were just working on every single YouTube video. So you just picked up all this stuff. And then I started introducing you to all these other people because you were hanging out with me. So through me, then you meet Snyder and you meet Brent and Kenny and Kiyosaki and all these other people. And then they need that skill that you have. Mm-hmm. And so then they reach out to you, and that you just parlay it. And that's how we got to where we are today.
Yeah. And then I remember you called me and you were like, hey, how do you want to move out to Arizona?
Yeah,
you're like, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
That's another key lesson. Whenever you're trying to get one of these mentorships, just say yes. Whatever it is, say yes. As long as you trust the guy. If it's some crazy person that you don't know, it's a different story. But if you know, it's like Kenny McElroy. Look, if Kenny says, hey, I need you to work 18 hours a day for the next 2 weeks, just say yes. Trust me. In the long run, you'll reap the rewards. That ROI on that will be almost infinite. So just say yes. Right? If it seems outside of your comfort zone, don't worry about it. Just say yes.
But yeah, I remember what I was most surprised about is you're like, yeah, how much you want to get paid? I'm like, what are you talking about? You're going to pay me? I was like, I get to work for you and I get money? Like, that's how this works.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There's many ways that you can add value. Obviously, with Josh coming on, being ambitious, incredibly hardworking, doing the research, just being a sponge when it comes to understanding YouTube. There's value there, but there's also value in someone being very low maintenance, someone just saying yes, right? The last thing that we want to deal with is guys like me and Kenny is you bring someone on and they're high maintenance. Oh, I don't like this hotel room because the color's brown. I'd prefer a blue room. Immediately you're like, I have no time for this. You just want someone that look, here's your room, and just someone that's very low maintenance. They just live, breathe, eat, multifamily properties if you're Kenny, or macroeconomics, and you can just throw them, not that you would, but you could just throw them in a closet and they're just going to be totally fine, content.
Well, I was definitely in a closet.
Yeah, and they're not going to, well, no, you had a hotel room.
Yeah, there was no kitchen or anything, and there's bugs everywhere.
Right, but it is a hotel.
Yeah.
And it was in Scottsdale, by the way. It wasn't like it was in the ghetto. Point there is that you're very, very low maintenance, because the last thing that we have time for is to allocate energy or mental bandwidth to some kid, 18-year-old kid that hasn't proven himself that just is working for me for free. Like trust me, Kenny has no time for any, high maintenance issues that an 18-year-old is gonna present him with.
That free would be expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's extremely expensive. Because how much is Kenny's time and mental bandwidth worth? Answer,
a lot more than free.
A lot, right? That's just be low maintenance, say yes to everything, even if it's outside of your comfort zone, assuming the person's trustworthy, obviously. Just have a skill set that has market value, that rich guys are looking for, and then just try to create as many touch points as you possibly can, provide value. And if you do that, then it's just a numbers game, and sooner or later, you're going to get a great mentorship. They might not do as well as you, but look, even if someone got a mentorship and did half as well as you, if they did 10% as well as you have, that'd be a huge win. That's the best advice I can give.
Thank you. That's the number one question I always get.
Yeah.